Good morrow, all the coiners out there. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Jerry V. And we have a special guest, Clark W. Griswold, sitting in today.
Yes, I got some fruitcake. Also,
so let's thank our
Jelly of the Month Club.
Jelly of the Month Club. Nice. So let's thank our sponsors, Quantum Economics, Quantum Expeditions. If you're interested in investing in actual Bitcoin mining, this is the way to go. I tell people stay away from cloud mining. Most of them can be scams. Also want to thank the team at Shieldfolio. We have a discount going on with them. If you scan the QR code, I believe you can get 20% off of a Shieldfolio. And we also want to thank our friends at The Organized. Peace, love. Thank you for supporting us, and check them out as well, and all the other great shows at Bitcoin Live. And always, we want to
really
thank.
Quick, have you noticed Steve over there? Piece he does like on the Organized Media every morning. It's the Let's Go morning show, and they got the Stacks community every morning. Their passion and their dedication and their commitment to providing quality content around the world and across the web. The Organized Media, peace. We love you. Thank you, Steve, for all the hard work you do.
Indeed. And I think we got covered everyone. And today's episode is a December to remember. And I was looking through my socials this morning. I usually start after I get up and feed my dog. I check X usually first. Usually check the Bitcoin price, and then I check X. And the first thing I saw was Robert Kiyosaki saying Bitcoin's going to crash to 60K. Robert, put down your crack pipe. That's not happening, bro.
Okay, really quick. Did he give any like technical analysis or
no,
any fundamental?
Zero.
He just woke up and had a hard on for 60K is what he did.
He basically said he wants cheaper Bitcoin. Yes, so do I, bro. But you just talking into the ethos ain't gonna
make the price. Hey, Mr. Kiyosaki, you had the whole summer of 58K to fucking stack sats, you goon. What's your problem?
Exactly. There it is. Like I don't know what he's talking about. We'll start to look at metrics. Everyone can read this tweet here, but yeah, Bitcoin is stalled. He thinks it's going to crash to 60K. No. Yeah, exactly. Put down your crack pipe.
Dude, it's so early. I can't even get my head around the stupidity of that tweet.
Yeah, again, he is a boomer, so we'll default to that. But no, that's not happening. As somebody who tries to be accurate in the space, I said it wasn't going to break 100K, and here we are. So I'm saying the opposite of what Robert Kiyosaki is saying this time. I think Monday we might see some pullback because you have to realize the markets were at 91 or 93 last week, and now they're back to 97 today. There's always going to be players that are like, oh my gosh, it's back to almost 100. Sell.
Yeah, that sell wall's been coming down slowly but surely. I mean, it's been big, but
oh, you just dropped out. I don't know what happened. Yes, Matt is correct. The sell wall is huge. It has been being taken out slowly but surely. Obviously, MicroStrategy bought a huge chunk last week, and it's rumored that they're going to make another purchase this week. But all signs to my theory are looking good, right? If we pull up, let's pull up a copy of the hash rate chart. And if we take a look, let me just hit refresh. Okay. So yeah, let's share this one, and boom, as you can see, right about here, we hit almost, I think it was like 930 exahashes again. So my theory from January 4th of this year, Bitcoin's going to print a zettahash in calculations by the end of the year. It's going to be close, but we're almost there, right? We're literally just below a zettahash. And so again, I don't know what Robert Kiyosaki's sipping on, but clearly he needs to put down the Kool-Aid and or the crack pipe, because we're about to go way higher, right? So like I said, last show, I think it was like right about here. It was, I want to say, the middle of the month, November 12th, November 15th, we got into the 900 again, exahashes, and we're about to see that play out this week. I'm pretty sure, like I said, my new theory is that the ETFs, after they suck up all of this cash, they have to process that at the end of 30 days. And that is this week, right? So I'm pretty sure, like I said, Monday, we're going to see a little bit of a pullback because it's just natural that the markets have gone back to where they were. And there will be some sellers at around 97 to 99. But let's take a look at CoinAnk's liquidation map. And dude, like literally, you can see the people are insane. Again, there's another billion in shorts up here, as you can see. Literally, it looks like there's nothing past like 100, like looks like 101, right? So like 100,952. So right around 101, there's nothing there. I haven't looked at an order book in a few days, but I would venture that if we looked at an order book, there's only a few sales, right? There's only a few people that smart people that are, or I would say dumb, depending on how you look at it, that have sales at 100K. But this is a lot of money again. Literally over the last month, I want to say somewhere between $5 and $7 billion has been burnt, right? Liquidated through. And you're just making Binance and Bybit and OKEx lots of money. I feel bad for people because they think that they're going to, obviously take this $1,000 or $10,000 and turn it into, a lot of Bitcoin. And that's just not the case when Bitcoin's ripping, right? Literally, that scene from South Park, right? And it's gone. Yeah, well, that's what's happening to all these people's money. And there is people happening in the meme coins as well, right? Where people go in and they just are green candle chasing. I just saw this kid, like, I think it was like TikTok Finance on X. He's like, I lost $10,000 on meme coins. Yes, if you're new to the space, do not go chasing green candles. You will lose all your money very quickly because you have no risk management profile, right? You're just like, throw money, throw money, throw money, throw money, throw money. And you just keep chasing green candles. And when you chase green candles, you become somebody else's exit liquidity. And that person's just waiting for that mega green candle to show up on their chart. And then they just go sell. And then they dump on you. So again, to the people on pump.fun, if you're chasing green candles, you will get ripped, right? You will get wrecked. You will get destroyed. Start with Bitcoin. That is where you need to start. That's where you need to learn. And if Bitcoin makes you feel uncomfortable because it's price point, then Litecoin is where you need to be because Litecoin's about to rip, right? I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah, it's just up over $100.
Yeah, it's actually almost 110 right now. If the last time I checked,
it's moving.
Yeah.
I would just submit this, Gerald. I would submit this. We've been in this game long enough since 2017, maybe even longer. And I really believe with the coming administration, the moves that we'll see in the SEC, the meme coins, the ETFs that are coming, the data's out there. I've shared it. There are like 4 XRP ETFs. There's like Solana ETFs. There's going to be so many meme coin ETFs, and it's really and this is only my opinion, so I'm just going to speak for myself here. But all of this is going to serve as a shiny distraction because people are going to look at, Bitcoin's over 100K. I can't buy a Bitcoin. So they're going to ape into meme coins, and all these exchanges and all these, they're going to be able to sell ETFs till the cows come home to all these shit coins because they're going to be distracted because the price point keeps people away. So I would encourage you not to get distracted and not to chase those meme coins. Really look for tokens that have value. If you're going to look for anything outside of Bitcoin, make sure that it's a token, that it's a utility token that offers value, because these meme coins are going to wreck you, and it's going to cause a lot of problems, I believe, in the years to come, because people are going to be chasing, oh, I can't afford hundreds of thousands of dollars on Bitcoin, but I can buy, Pepe token for, 15 cents, and I can load up on that and feel like I'm going to get rich. And I think it's just a distraction.
It is. Again, 100% agree with you. And when we were discussing, because I know you were having internet troubles last time, everybody was having technical issues last show. Not as many this week, thank you, Lord. But yeah, what I was saying last week towards the end of last episode was, don't listen to these people that you see. I don't care if the influencer's driving a Lambo or if they're driving a Fiat, right?
Look, they rented the Lambo. I'll tell you right now. I
Even
know
if
that
they own the
they rent
Lambo, don't
they rent
trust
them.
them
They don't
because their
own them.
risk profile and their risk portfolio is totally different from yours, right? If they have, let's say, like my war chest isn't huge. I only have, like 4 or 5K that I'm like trying to spread around. To like make more money. Some of these guys, like let's just use that Martini guy for an example. Some people think he's a scammer. He's not. He's called out many, many, many scammers. But he does have a lot of money. He's a multi-millionaire. But the point, what I'm trying to say is you can't follow what he's buying, because he can take $100,000, put it into XRP, right? And it went up 30-40% this week. He just made a lot of money. Boom, he sells, he takes that money, puts it into another project. Boom, he turns that into 500K, right? So you can't follow these people anymore because their whole strategy has changed, because their war chest is like enormous compared to yours. So if you're investing $100 in XRP, it's not going to change your life, right? If you're investing $100 into Litecoin, it's not going to change your life. If you're investing $100 into Bitcoin, it's not going to change your life, right? But at the same time, you can't chase what's going on social media, because if you're chasing what's going on social media, you're seeing the last signals of that project, right? You're seeing the end toppy signals. And talking about toppy signals, we're not anywhere near a top, nowhere near a top. And you know why? Because I've done my research, right? So I went into the App Store the other day. I'm looking at all the fintech apps. Guess where they're at? They're not in top 10. They're not in top 20. They're not even in top 30. They're in the 50 to 75 range. The highest one's Cash App. It's like maybe in the top 45. And then Venmo, I think, is in the top 50. And then you start to see Coinbase and crypto.com and Crack and all the rest. But those haven't even made it into the top 50 yet. So we're nowhere near a top. Okay. But what we're going to see happen, I think this is a couple things that could play out. Is that we keep seeing Bitcoin's dominance rise and rise. And we're just going to keep seeing the meme coins chase like they've always done.
Yeah.
But I think we get, like I said, this week around Tuesday to Friday, we finally push through the 100K. We go to like 110 to 120, maybe higher, because again, at that point, we're at this psychological number where it's a very round number. And now the line for the Bitcoin machine is backing up, because people say, wait a second, did you say $100,000? Yes. Are you paying attention? We are 10% to $1 million. So could it go to $1 million? Yes, it could.
The move from I believe what was it, 3,800 to 58,000 is about the same move from where we're at now to 1 million.
Correct.
And to the point, just I wanted to put a final exclamation point on the I'm sorry, it's still early for me, and I'm still in a bit of a food hangover from the weekend.
No worries.
So I'm trying to still gather my thoughts here. So excuse me for being rusty, but to the point that we're talking about Bitcoin and chasing pumps and candles, I think the best piece of evidence is the story that I shared earlier this week, when it just talks about, we've always said, stay safe, stack sats, hodl, dollar cost average, self custody. Well, to that point, a gentleman on the X app by the name of Rigo and I shared
Oh,
this
yes.
story earlier this day. He started investing $30 daily into Bitcoin back in 2016. Just dollar cost average, $30 every day, put it aside and hodled. That $30 position every day since 2016 has now put him into a $1 million position, his portfolio, over $1 million. He started this journey at the age of 22, committing to a steady strategy of purchasing $30 worth of Bitcoin every 12 hours for 7 years, 10 months, and 12 days. The dollar cost averaging method, often used to mitigate market volatility, eventually yields significant returns despite criticism and skepticism. So, to that point, friend, to anybody listening, to anybody out there, go ahead and chase your meme coins and lose your money and get wrecked, or stay safe, stack sats, and hodl, dollar cost average that Bitcoin every day. It's the tortoise versus the hare, friend, and we know
Yeah,
how that race ends.
and
All right.
he more than 10x'd his money, right? It was like 86K that he invested, and now it's worth over $1 million. So this is exactly correct. Listen to exactly what Matt's saying. I tell people dollar cost averaging is your like secret weapon.
Here's a quote from what he said. He says, quote, "I sacrificed going out with my friends to allocate to this belief. I stayed home. I didn't buy a new car. I did not buy fancy things. I kept it minimal." And I think that's the idea and the mindset you got to have.
Somebody's trying to creep in to say hello. Say hi, Blue. Come on. You can say hi. There you are. Yeah. Hey, I tell people, look, that's almost all my positions that have come into the profit over the last 4 years. That's how it's worked, right? I tell people, as somebody who's a meme coin master, right? Like I've bought Doge way before Elon bought Doge, right? I bought Doge at sub a penny. I tell people, look, I find these bets, right? And I place like 4. In the old days, it would be like 10 to 20 bets. Now it's about 4 to 6 bets, right? And I then wait on those bets, right? See them go up, down, up, down, up, down. Then I start to invest in those more. I start to dollar cost average into those. Perfect example. I've been dollar cost averaging into Canaan since 2020, I think literally 2019 or 2020. I've been dollar.
Let's be clear for folks who don't know. Hold on. For folks who don't know, you just jumped to Canaan, which is not a cryptocurrency. Let's let people know what it is.
Yes, Canaan is a Bitcoin mining company. They are number 2 to Bitmain in the world. Genesis Mining.
Right.
That's where they buy all of their equipment.
They make the mining machines. Right. They make
Correct.
the mining machines. Right. Okay. Let's be very clear. They don't even. I don't believe they actually mine. They just make the mining equipment. They sell the picks.
Correct. They make the actual miners for people to mine Bitcoin. So I've been DCAing into this position now for about 4 years. And I waited, I bought a big chunk, I think in 2021, and then it started to go down. And as it started going down, I'm going to buy 10 shares. I'm going to buy 20 shares. I'm going to buy 50 shares. And now I have 500 shares. My goal is to have 1,000. But Canaan will pull an MSTR, right? They actually make Bitcoin miners and sell them to people like Genesis, like Mara. Like,
so wait a second. Are you now saying right here on the live stream at 24 past the hour that Canaan is going to pull a Michael Saylor and start adding Bitcoin to the balance sheet?
Oh, of course.
Is that what I heard you say?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. They already do have, I'm pretty sure they do have, I don't think, because they're in Singapore. They're not a Chinese company, so it's not illegal for them to have it on the balance sheet. So I'm not 100% sure if they do, but where I was leading with that is I want their, $2, roughly $1.85 to $2 stock to go to $500 per share. That's what I'm into. I pull a micro strategy that way. But I've DCA'd, I've DCA'd, I DCA'd, I DCA'd, I DCA'd. And it's going to go to 100 to 500 to $1,000. I don't know when it'll split, but and that's another thing about stocks. You know, everyone gets excited about
you're really
MSCR.
bullish on Canaan, man.
Oh yeah, dude, I'm
why
not
are you so
playing
bullish
around,
on
dude.
these guys?
Yeah,
Why are you so
again,
bullish
they
on
make
them?
stuff. What does MicroStrategy make? Some
Software.
software that nobody uses, right?
Well, I don't know if anybody. I mean, they've obviously got revenue that comes in, so I mean, people are buying their software. So
they're playing the Bitcoin debt game, which again, it's smart, but that's, you know, all he's doing is selling his convertible bonds, and people are eating them up, and that's awesome because I think he's
and the
making
TradeFi world is melting. You know, they can't even get their head around it.
Yeah, they can't. If you saw Sorkin, right, that video with Sorkin, I think we played it, where he's trying to figure out, like, so hold on, you're putting Bitcoin into loans? He's like, explain this to me. Like I'm a 2-year-old.
That was on CNBC on Squawk Box, and for those folks issuing the loan, they really to their point, they don't have a lot of downside risk on that. They're really not, so they're kind of happy, I think, to take those loans because they're like, oh, great, we don't have a lot of exposure.
Yeah, we're gonna make an F ton of money. Yes, awesome.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, we're starting to see, right, the literally fledgling stages of hyper Bitcoinization, right? If you haven't been following,
I would say
Dennis,
it's not even fledgling. I'd say it's already full on. People just aren't aware.
Yeah, we're on full on hyper Bitcoinization, right? Dennis Porter's account is like, and we're here, right? I've been saying, like, it's going to happen. Nation states, cities, right? Like, et cetera, et cetera. So that's another thing that is that gives credence to my theory that this week is going to be a very big week for Bitcoin's price and for Bitcoin's history in general. Because Dennis Porter's like, I've got multiple United States governors, right? I got like, he literally doesn't have enough.
Dennis does a lot of hard work, but I'm not gonna bank everything just on what Mr. Porter says. I respect his hard work and what he's done, but I think, to me, it's, when I look at what's really going on, the front running of companies and corporations, front running nation states, creating their own strategic Bitcoin reserve, from obviously Michael Saylor and what he's been doing, well documented since 2020. You look at Fred Thiel over at Mara and what they've issued as far as a Bitcoin mining company. They have directly taken that page out of the MicroStrategy playbook, issuing that debt, and again, just this week alone, gobbling up more Bitcoin. Then we look at, you know, the city of Vancouver, the mayor of Vancouver this week just put a motion out, and they're going to be voting on this in the beginning of December to make Vancouver a Bitcoin friendly city. So could they be adding Bitcoin to the balance sheet? Then in Switzerland, you've got what they call, they don't have states, they call them CERNs, but they have a state over there that's now looking at adopting Bitcoin because it can help with waste energy. So all these corporations, all these little states and municipalities are already front running nation state adoption. And that's why I say right now we are in hyper Bitcoinization. A lot of people can't see it because you can't see the forest through the trees. You're too close to it. You got to step back and zoom out, right? We've heard that analogy. Zoom out, and when you zoom out, you see what's really going on.
Oh, for sure, for sure. Again, literally, the sky's the limit. From the tweet earlier that was just shared, right? We got Brazil, China, all these countries, especially China, that were anti-Bitcoin for many years, realizing that everything's about to change, right? Whether you like not Bitcoin, right? The future is Bitcoin related, and you can take it or leave it, but you're going to be
right.
The big steamroller comes down the road.
When the steamroller comes down the road, the steamroller of technology comes down the road, you have two options: either get on board or get run over. It's really simple, you know, and those of us who were early adopters saw the steamroller coming down the road miles away, and we decided, oh, we want to get on board and help drive this thing and help steer this thing and maybe help navigate this thing so we don't get squashed, you know? So everybody buys Bitcoin at the price they deserve. And look at this. Early Bitcoiners were not lucky. They were smart.
Yeah, exactly. They saw the innovation. They saw the power of Bitcoin. And here we are, right? We're here 15 plus years later. And
you look at,
go ahead.
I was just going to say, you look at the fact also to the point of just even this week, Russia and China changing their tax laws, Hong Kong changing their tax laws, Putin changing the laws on Bitcoin miners here this week. So they're not, so it's no VST, so VAST tax, right? Again, let me try and pull up my laptop here and I'll get you the story. But if you do your research, you can see just this week alone, Hong Kong and Russia changing their tax laws as well. So I think that's going to have to happen here in the US as well. It's just a matter of time. And again, this is all part of that hyper Bitcoinization that is happening right now, right fucking now.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that comes out, we're going to start to see more of that in the coming weeks, right? Where, you know, for example, this is just me throwing ideas out there, but like if it's L2, right? If it's a Lightning Network transaction, it should not be a taxable event, right? You're using it as cash. You're purchasing, you know, goods and or services, coffee, whatever. And again, it shouldn't be a taxable event if you're like money. And the sooner we do get a strategic Bitcoin reserve, the sooner, you know, income taxes go bye-bye, right? Because is six, right? Then they're a part of the economy, right? Then every time a transaction's done on the network, you know, they're getting their PPS, right? They're getting their little sliver of Bitcoin that's coming through that ASIC every day, right? And they're earning, and that's a part of the ecosystem, and that's huge. So, you know, we've been talking, me and you personally have been talking about a strategic Bitcoin reserve before even Dennis Porter, right? So,
oh, yeah, I know.
This is huge. The fact that we're now not just fantasizing about it, we have literally multiple Congress people and senators and the president all talking about adding to the balance sheet. And this is going to happen. And this is very important to the survival of America, right? I've said this for 3 or 4 years. It is a national security issue. Before the CEO of Mara said that, before Jason Mowry said it, I've been saying this is.
Yeah.
We're going to get, like Matt said, we are going to be under the steamroller. And thanks to Elizabeth Warren, we almost were, right? We literally were almost under that steamroller, and America literally is gone. And luckily, there's Bitcoin, and Bitcoin has been
Max
protecting
Keiser
the dollar.
referred to this years ago. I mean, I think I want to say it was like 2013. Max Keiser was calling this hash wars. He foresaw all of this happening. I call it World War B, not World War III, even though they do kind of seem to coincide with each other right here on the timeline, especially as we move through 2025 into 2026. So that's why I think World War III and World War B kind of go hand in hand. But this is what he talked about, you know, the hash wars and nation states adopting it. I mean, I think that to the point when you keep going down that rabbit hole, becomes somewhat, is it going to be something along the lines of what happened in 1933, where the government confiscated all the gold and said, nope, we can't do it anymore, because it becomes so vital to national security and in the interest of the country that the government has to step in, and they create a digital Fort Knox where we see, you know, armed guards and barbed wire fences, and to a heightened extent with drones and Atlas robots and robot dogs century patrolling the perimeters of a Bitcoin mining facility. I don't think we're that far off, my friend. It's kind of scary. It's kind of dystopian, but I really believe that's what's coming.
Yeah. And again, it's going to take years. It's figured this out.
It might not, dude. It might not take years.
Oh yeah,
not like.
But what I'm about to say is going to take years. This is just fact. But eventually, what's going to take years is that you're going to start demilitarizing. You don't need to push your force out into the physical world. You need to into the cyber realm, and it's going to, but our militaries eventually will start to decrease, and then we'll start to increase our Bitcoin power. And people are going to then, instead of looking to other nation states as throughout history, time immemorial, and we go, oh, we need more resources. Okay, nation state on their head, take theirs. That's not more, right? What you can do is just go around your own country, and all of this wasted energy and stranded energy, now we connect it to the Bitcoin and or Litecoin network, and we're generating revenue all the time. And again, that's what's going to start to happen. And where I'm going with military budget starts getting smaller, and your ASIC budget starts getting larger, right? And yes, and then Jason Lowry wrote a nice book on there, and this is basically what we're discussing right now, is that instead of a hard war, which is what we're seeing in Ukraine and we're seeing in other parts of the world, Israel, etc., where it's actual, where people fighting each other with bombs, missiles, guns, that war starts to the cyber realm. And, we've already talked about cyber war. Well, Bitcoin, is like the atomic bomb of cyber warfare, right? People don't realize.
Maybe Nick can pull up the video. I can't pull it up, but I shared a video earlier this year, and I called it World War B, and it kind of basically outlined all of that, this whole cyber war in the trenches, what it means as nation states. Big to your point, Gerald, the battlefield shifts from the conventional analog world of the 20th century, or even pre-20th century, to this digital battlefield that is waged on the balance sheets.
Correct. And I think Nick is pulling up that video right now as we speak. And we can catch a little clip of that in a moment. But that's exactly right, right? And like I said, the military, the hardware budget starts to decrease. And then like I said, the soft war budget, or the ASIC mining budget, or the Bitcoin mining authority budget, whatever it becomes, that starts to get larger and larger and larger. And that's what we're about to see. Oh, here's the video.
A digital coliseum, their weapon of choice, Bitcoin. The global stage is set. Countries once separated by borders are now united in a relentless pursuit of digital dominance. Governments hoarding Bitcoin like modern-day gold, fortifying their reserves for the ultimate showdown. Welcome to the new age, where wealth isn't just power, it's survival. Brace yourself for World War Bitcoin. The battle for supremacy in the age of digital currency has begun. Will your nation rise, or will it fall into the digital abyss? Stay sharp, stay informed, and stay ahead. Because in this war, the smartest moves are made in the blockchain shadows.
Yeah, well, see, there you go. So that's just a little slice of what's coming.
Yeah.
Or what's happening.
And Matty is correct. We're entering a golden age. We truly are. As Matt was stating earlier, you can see literally they're talking about all kinds of ETFs that are coming, right? We hinted at it in episodes, I think 4 or 5, where we hinted at XRP, Solana, LTC. Guess what? All of those are now officially in the works, right? This space is about to go from a $3 trillion space to $10 to $50 trillion space. So if you've been stacking correctly, yes, you're going to be very successful. This is the season of no other. It's going to be a very blessed season. Hanukkah and Christmas fall on the same day. That's huge, right? Spiritually, if you're a spiritual person, this season is going to be awesome. Especially if you have been paying attention, stacking sats, stacking lits, exploring the meme coins, because yes, there are going to be meme coins that make many people millionaires. Bitcoin's going to mint a whole bunch of millionaires. Litecoin's going to mint some millionaires this year. So this year is
okay, so it looked like Nick just had that graphic up from Eric Balkanis over there at Bloomberg. We tweeted out earlier the ETF proposals. I think he just had that up. Yeah. So we're looking at 4 Solana, 3 XRP, 1 LTC, and the one that really caught my attention was the H-bar, the Hedera filing for an ETF. I mean, and here's the thing, man. H-bar, I think Quantum Expeditions put out a tweet earlier in the past week where, and I missed this one, that the government is probably looking at something along like some sort of voter ID blockchain type of project using Hedera. And again, I don't know, Nick could probably find that, but I believe Quantum Expeditions tweeted that out. So the interest around H-bar and Hedera seems to be gaining some momentum. And that's another one of those projects I think Trump had on the list of that they would eliminate taxes on. Excuse me.
I
gotta get some more coffee.
Message Nick because he sent me something yesterday, and I wanted to see if he could pull that up. But he was saying to me that he just received information that is like we said, kind of ahead of the curve now. Like we as pioneers in the space, like we're very fortunate. There's a lot of people that are behind the curve, and you're about to see how behind the curve most of the planet is. Oh, there it is. Your USD wallet. Dun, 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 dun. Welcome to the future, y'all. I hope you have some Bitcoin because the EU is going to have released soon. Right here's their wallet. So first it's just going to be for your ID, and then they're going to say, oh, it'll work with your CBDC too, right? Oh
yeah, that's exactly, they're going to bring in the CBDC through voter ID. And that's, here's the article was put out by Quantum Expeditions on November 19th. And if you're not following Quantum Expeditions on the app, I would encourage you. Trump and the Department of Government Efficiency, we know what that is, DOGE, are planning a federal blockchain-based voting ID verification system dubbed eVote. The platform developed with X, Cardano, Hyperledger, and Hedera would ensure election integrity nationwide. It goes on to say Hedera, recognized by the State Department and the White House for advancing democracy, is a key partner as Trump aims to eliminate voter fraud ahead of the 2028 election. Now, here's the thing. You look at the mandate that the current administration or the incoming administration has been given, and that was a big part of it was illegal immigration. And how do you determine who's legal and who isn't? Well, a digital ID goes a long way to help doing that, right? So if you're an American citizen, this is just me spitballing here, and a lot of brighter minds have kind of kicked this idea around as well. So you're going to have to then be forced to sign up for your digital ID. We're doing this in the state under the idea of democracy and protecting our borders. So those then who are not signed up for a digital ID, they're the ones that are going to get deported. And then that's how they bring in the digital ID, and that's how they bring in the
voter ID laws as well. And then they slip in the CBDC. Your mic just cut out right there at the end. But
sorry, I'm having weird tech glitchy issues again here. I don't know what's going on with my phone.
No worries.
I've been having the weird. Maybe I got to get a new phone. I think because I have an iPhone 13, and I think the iPhone 13s are notorious for like bugs and glitchy stuff, and so I might have to like get a new phone here. So I'm sorry.
Dun, 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 dun.
It's been going on for like a week. I don't know. I had to do like a SIM card and then get an eSIM and swap my SIM, and I'm like, geez, I just need my phone to frickin' work.
Give me a second. I want to see. Let's see if I can go to.
But all of this goes back to the point of whether it's a voter ID, a digital ID, a state-run CBDC that's programmed that allows you to only use it and spend it for certain things in a certain amount of time. This goes back to the point of why Bitcoin is so important. It secures your financial freedom. So no government can tell you what you can spend, where you can spend, and how much you can spend. If you want to buy meat, then go buy meat. And the government's not going to say you can't buy meat. And if you want to go buy, a handgun, then go buy a handgun. Right? It's going to be up to you. So the Bitcoin really preserves your sovereignty, your ability to do what you want with your money. And most importantly, this is the big fucking point I really am trying to drive home. Bitcoin allows you to save future generations and my grandkids and your kids and people's children moving forward are not going to be able to live in a world where wealth accumulation is possible because of the world that we're moving into. And Bitcoin is the only way that's going to allow you to accrue any wealth, to preserve your wealth for future generations. Because like I said at the top of this conversation, there's going to come a time when Bitcoin becomes too expensive, too out of reach for the mainstream retail plebes. And they're like, well, I can't afford to buy $100,000 or $1 million Bitcoin, so I'm going to go buy Rabbit token. I can go and chase these gains and try to be rich on these lottery ticket tokens. And it's going to be out of reach. And it's why it's so important. It is so important for everybody to have exposure to Bitcoin, to have a little bit, to just dollar cost average. Like we saw the story from the gentleman that took $30 and started doing that. If you just did that, if everybody just started doing $20 every 2 weeks, oh my goodness, your life and your generational wealth would change.
Oh,
I'm sorry
indeed.
for the diatribe.
No, I totally 100% agree. I tell people, look, DCA is your secret weapon. If you are like, again, I used to have a lot of money before Celsius, but I've been using the same strategies that made me build up that, almost $1 million portfolio, back to $1 million portfolio. Do you know how I'm doing that? Dollar cost average. And again, going back to what you were saying, Kiyosaki was saying the same thing. At 100K, a lot of people will start getting this bias, right? The unit bias, and then we have numerical bias, right? Because it's 100K to get one is 100K. It's like, people's heads start exploding. Again, that's why we're starting to see movement in Litecoin, because Litecoin is a hard asset like Bitcoin. Its supply is 84 million, so it does have a larger supply, but here's what gets over 100K, the L1 cost of doing transactions starts to bloat, right? These are just facts.
So my question and concern, though, and I agree with you when it comes to Litecoin. Obviously, those of us in the space, we understand it's the principles around it and why it's unique compared to a lot of the other cryptocurrencies. But what I find, I guess, is questioning and kind of got me scratching my head, and this is probably a good question for conversation, is just the data that we just brought up in the metrics, looking here from the ETFs that are proposed in 2025, right? We saw 4 Solana, 3 XRP. I think there was maybe one. Wasn't there just one Litecoin? I think my question is, why aren't there more Litecoin ETFs, and are we going to see more of them? I mean, if we're going to have all these shitcoin ETFs, I don't need a cum rocket ETF. Okay.
Yeah, seriously.
I don't need a Pepe ETF. Sorry.
Yeah, we don't need a Pepe or Bonk ETF.
All right. I don't need a pump fund ETF. What I need is like an LTC. I think there was one. I'm going to go back and look here really quick.
Yeah, it was Canary.
One. Yeah, right. There it is. I'm looking at it.
Canary's filed one. I think what you'll see is in the next couple of months, we'll see Fidelity probably file for one soon in the next quarter or two. And then after Fidelity does, we'll start to see some of the other bigger players explore this option. But it's going to take a little bit of time. But I think let's pull up. I just pulled up the Litecoin hash rate chart. And, for all the Litecoin haters out there, you need to do your research, right? Here it is right here. Look at that, dude. That chart is doing the same thing the Bitcoin hash rate chart is doing. Up and to the right, y'all. Up and to the right. And we discussed this a little bit in the last episode, but my new theory is the smaller Bitcoin mining operations, as they become unprofitable, if they still have a little bit of capital, it behooves them to explore Litecoin because of a whole array of options, right? It costs way less in overhead for your electricity, right? The miners themselves are not a lot cheaper, but a little bit cheaper, right? And then the uptime, right? Script miners, they just hum, they run, they're much quieter. There's a list of reasons why I prefer Litecoin over Bitcoin. Yes, I know I said it.
Wow,
but
dude, wow. Yeah, I'm gonna have to pray to Satoshi that you repent of that one.
That's okay. But I'm going to tell you why it is superior to Bitcoin. I'm going to tell you
Oh,
right
no.
now.
Okay, you're not going to convince me. I'm sorry, but go ahead and try to convince me why.
Okay, so if you've ever done a Bitcoin transaction, right? Let's say I had to send you $100 for a bet. We bet the Mariners game, right? That I took you to, which they got their butts handed to. And it was $50 in Bitcoin. And I sent you, it was $50 when I sent it, but when you get it, it's like 45. Oh, so now I got to send you another $5 in Bitcoin? That's not happening. I'm not going to do it.
You're not going to send $8 because you got to cover the fees.
Exactly. So again,
yeah.
If you do this in Litecoin, oh, I'm short. Oh, it's not a big deal. I will send you another LTC transaction.
Hold on a minute.
It's going to come through. It's going to be fast. It's not going to cost you like 0.009 cents, and it's done, right? So the reason why Litecoin is superior is
on Bitcoin.
Multiple transactions.
You could use a layer 2 on Bitcoin, Lightning Network, I believe, and you'll be fine, and you won't have to do that.
Yeah. Again, you say this. I'm still trying to get Matty to use L2. He can't even do that. So I'm not saying he can't do it. I'm saying he chooses not to do it. And he has his reason, right?
Is doing it.
What's that?
Like let's get Jack
Oh
Muller.
yeah, I'm not. I tell people, look, L2s are awesome, but it's a different knowledge set, right? Like you have to. Yeah, it technically isn't BTC. If you want to get into a semantic argument with Zombied, it technically it isn't real Bitcoin, right? So I know we could have that discussion. I don't want to have that discussion right now, but I tell people if you want to do layer 1 versus layer 1, again, Litecoin is superior L1. I'm sorry, it just is. Bitcoin's awesome, and it's going to be king for a long, long time. But when you see Litecoin go to $500 in the next couple of weeks, then yes, you're going to hear all these companies say, we're talking about the Litecoin ETF.
Hold on a moment. You're dropping so much spice. You're like Colonel Sanders over here, man. You got 11 herbs in season. You're dropping spice. So now you're saying in the next week, Litecoin to $500?
Yes.
Wow, dude. This is why you need to watch Proof of Work with Gerald Vata. The Oracle makes the spicy calls. Super spice.
Yeah. So, I mean, Bitcoin had its largest monthly candle close on yesterday, Saturday. It's $26,000. So we're going to see 100K Bitcoin very soon. And once we broach that number again, to start to look to alternatives. I know a lot of people think it's XRP. I'm sorry, XRP is awesome, and I have a small bag. But if you've been looking, XRP, Ripple, the company, yeah, they just took almost 7 billion tokens, and they're about to sell them. So you're about to see a local
dump a Ruski.
Yeah, they're about to dump on us. Right?
Yeah, big time.
And this is why I prefer things like Bitcoin and Litecoin, because they have such a small supply. Oh, somebody's going to dump 10,000 Bitcoin. It's not going to move the price, right? Oh, so like the miners, Litecoin miners, they've been dumping super hard the last week. They're almost out of Litecoin. So once they're out of Litecoin to dump, yes, it's just going to take off. And there's nothing anybody can do, because a lot of people are starting to stack Litecoin because they're seeing what I'm saying to you, right? They've experienced it, right? I don't know how many times I've done a Bitcoin transaction, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, and where's the confirmation? Where's the confirmation? I never have that problem with Litecoin. Never, ever, ever. So
you just need
again,
a Xanax and a Bud Light, relax.
Yeah, exactly. That's how you feel some days when you're sending, a couple G's and you're waiting for those confirmations to come through. Or a perfect example. I spent $150 of Bitcoin 2 weeks ago, not even 2 weeks ago, 10 days ago. I said $150 of Bitcoin. I forgot to check the mining fees. Guess how much Bitcoin I got?
$80.
Is a little bit more. I got 100. So it's a $50 mining fee, $45 or $50 mining fee.
Well, see, that's why again, layer 2, man. He's that
again, of course.
Jack Mullers, man. Let's get Jack Mullers on the call. We're gonna do
honestly, I don't like Strike anymore. Sorry.
Wow.
I like Jack. I think Jack's cool, but I don't like any Lightning wallet I can't send Satoshis to. I can only send Satoshis out of. So I don't like Fold's wallet. I don't like Strike's wallet. I don't like even Cash App. I can set Lightning to and from Cash App, even though Cash App has some restrictions. They have an open Lightning wallet, but Strike does not do that. I don't like that. Fold does not do that. Fold, it should be an open wallet. Strike, it should be an open wallet. You know who has the best, in my opinion? It's got a few little glitches. They're not major glitches. They're just like JavaScript refresh
the Ballet wallet?
No, Aqua for L2. We're talking about L2.
Oh yes, Aqua. Oh my, well,
Aqua wallet is the best Lightning wallet, and I'll tell you why. Remember when I was saying, I think it was maybe episode 3 or 4, I say, when anyone figures out how to peg Bitcoin out onto the L2 channel and then peg it back in, that's going to be one of the best Lightning wallets out there. Guess what? Aqua, you can do that.
Yes, Samson Mao, do that. Samson fucking
Thank you, Samson.
That guy. Thank you.
But yeah, if you want a really good
3 Aqua.
Yeah, if you want a really good L2 wallet, Lightning wallet, Aqua wallet, it's very good. It's very fast. I used to use Wallet of Satoshi, but they got banned. Oh, that's some big news. Big news. Big news. So that's what I'm looking for next, right? All of these regulations to be dialed back, right? That the US has been, they blocked Tornado Cash, unblocked Tornado Cash, Ballet. I can't swap on Ballet because of IP restrictions. All of that needs to be dialed back, right? For America, right? Once we start seeing that, oh my gosh, we're just going to.
I'm sorry, my connection dropped out again. I'm having
no
issues with my phone. So I missed what you said there.
So the macro news that I'm looking for is to see a reversal of all of these, trends from in the US, right? Where you open up an app and you're like, oh, you can't use KuCoin because you live in the United States. It's like, okay, can we remove all of these geolocated IP filters from the United States because we're about to go full crypto 100,000%. But I haven't seen any of that yet, right? I haven't heard KuCoin say, oh, you can now go play on KuCoin again because, your US restrictions are gone. Like I said, Ballet, I can't do swaps on because they're like, oh, you're in the United States. You can't do that. There's like a whole list of things when I try go into an application or a decentralized application. They're like, oh, you're in America? Sorry. It's like, I thought we were the land of the free.
I think that gets changed, hopefully, with the incoming administration and the rules and regulations that will probably be changed to make it more favorable. I think that, with the administration coming in, these rules and regulations will change to allow more liquidity. And when we see more liquidity, we're going to see more action. We're going to see that again. Why do you think they're lining up all these ETFs for, like we said, XRP and Solana and LTC and Hedera? Because they know that there's going to be a huge demand of liquidity coming in for them, right? They're not going to sell them if people don't want them. Right. So I think that again tells is a foretelling sign of what is to come. As I try to grab some coffee here as we near the top of the hour, I've got about 15 minutes and then I got a hard out. I've got a jam, but I just really wanted to, as long as we got an opportunity to connect and my internet connection is still good. Are there other things outside of Bitcoin that you're looking at that you're excited about, where you do think that there are opportunities to get those gains? Maybe it's an RWA, a DPIN. What are you looking at? Are there other projects where you think there is potential? What might they be?
Yeah, so I like Murad. If you're not familiar with Murad, he is like another meme coin master out there. And he had, I guess he was at a conference maybe like a month or two ago, and he did a speech on, he's calling it the meme coin super cycle. And I'm very in concurrent with him. I think we're going to see many, many millionaires minted from the meme coins, but you have to be careful, right? Is we discussed this a little bit on the last episode. When you are shopping around for meme coins, you want to make sure that some of your meme coin portfolio can be dumped on a SEX, right? A centralized exchange. Let's go with DEX versus a SEX really quickly. And we're not talking about SEX. We're talking about CEX, not SEX. So what a SEX is a centralized...
Be very clear, because if you hold on a second, you got to be clear, because sometimes you say things like this and then the algorithms and whatnot, the social media platforms pick it up, and then my accounts get banned because Gerald's talking about sex and he's not talking about.
We're not
sex.
talking about
sex. Right.
We're talking about.
I don't want my accounts flagged and banned again.
Yeah, so a centralized exchange is like Binance or Deribit or OKEx. They're a centralized exchange where they have their servers in a country or their headquarters, and everyone comes to that exchange. DEX is a decentralized exchange. Oh, how funny! That's that show I was telling you about, Nick. That's that show I was telling you about that on Hulu. Boom, there it is. Oh, so they're Manicky, literally. So the difference between SEXs and DEXs is that the centralized exchange is like Binance. Everyone comes to it. A decentralized exchange is basically all of these wallets are connected up, and they basically are creating what they call liquidity pools. So think of it as a little pond, and people are pouring, like in this case, let's use Solana. People are pouring some Solana into this pool, and they're kind of keeping that pool set aside as liquidity against your meme coin, right? And like I said, why it's important to have some of your meme coins on a centralized exchange is it's called ghost bags. I wrote an article in 2020 or 2021.
You just had a big tweet about this the other day too, talking about
exactly, explaining what a ghost bag is. And it's basically what happens is your coin goes up super high, but there's not a lot of liquidity in that coin, and people then cash out the liquidity that was available. Let's say it was X amount of Solana, and then you try and swap out, and then the basically phantom wallet will say you're going to lose almost all your money, right? If you swap it out, you're not going to get $10 million or $1 million, or like you're going to get like 5 Solana, right? You're like, or in some cases they'll just say you can't do the swap. It'll say the swap is not, it can't be done, right? I've had that happen many times on Ethereum. People are like, why do you hate Ethereum? Guess where most of my ghost bags have occurred on Ethereum. So one of my biggest ghost bags ever, I took $100, almost turned it into 100K with a cat token from 2021 called Kitty Cake token. Oh yeah, here's the video. This guy is saying the exact same thing I'm saying right now. When you don't hear, might as well watch it. Go ahead, play it.
This kid woke up to $12 million in his account from a meme coin. But he starts to explain that he tried to sell it and it wouldn't let him sell it. It said 100% price impact. Let's explain why he could not sell this and why this is one of the worst things to happen to people with meme coins, is they see their money go up to millions of dollars, but they can't sell it. This is a liquidity issue. Liquidity is how easy and quick it is to sell a crypto token without affecting the price. So for example, if he had this $12 million in Bitcoin instead of some random meme coin, he could sell that 12 million. This is because Bitcoin has super high liquidity. So even if you had 100 million in Bitcoin, you could sell it right away. So this little shitty meme coin right here did not have near enough liquidity for him to sell. Now, the reason why this is so horrible is because kids wake up and they see some of these coins doing this to their wallet. They refresh their wallet and, you know, they see millions of dollars. They get all excited and then they can't sell it. And that's exactly what happened to this guy. Now, you can check liquidity of tokens on the DEX Screener app. DEX Screener. This is what everyone uses to watch meme coin charts. And right here, you can see this one has $6.2 million of liquidity, which is fairly high. That's pretty good. But some of these will literally say like $20,000 or like $1 if it's rug pulled, which means they pulled all of the liquidity out. Now you can see this little lock icon. If that has a lock icon, this liquidity is locked and the creator of these token can't actually take it out, right? If the lock is not there, you are in danger. They will rip the liquidity and rug pull the rug out from under you.
The video or stop the video. But yeah, so when I wrote about this, you know, most people weren't familiar with the term ghost bags. But yeah, when you're looking down the screen, you're seeing 6 or 7 zeros and you can't swap out of it. It is the worst feeling in the world.
And so, you know what it does, Gerald? It brings me back to the point of why you don't fuck with meme coins. If you just stack sats a dollar cost average, guess what?
Well, yeah, again, I totally concur. Totally concur. But you know the gamblers, the gambler mentality in America.
Dude. When crypto.com, and I finally got my laptop up and running. So here, we're now just a little bit 6 after the hour, 9 o'clock out west, noon in the east, whatever it is. But crypto.com is pushing out these ads. Buy meme coins. They are pushing meme coins because this is where the liquidity is coming from retail. It's going to be too hard for retail to get their mind around buying a Bitcoin. It's too expensive for me now. It's like buying a Ferrari, right? It's like, you know, oh, I can't buy a Ferrari, but I can buy a Kia, right? So that's what they're going to be looking at. Bitcoin is now becoming the Ferrari, the exotic. It's too expensive for everyday people to buy. So I'm going to go buy the Kia, which are these fucking meme coins. I'm not saying that Kia is a bad car. I mean, that's fine, but I'm just saying.
You're just an analogy, y'all.
Right.
So again, you're correct. But the gambling mentality, right? The degenerate mentality of America is going to lead to people to gamble. So if you are going to do this, the first thing I tell people is it should not be your life savings, right? $50, $100, relative to how much capital you have, maybe a couple percent, right? But it's not your life savings. First off, you don't do that. You're going to do your life savings. It's Bitcoin and Litecoin. That's it. Do not put your life savings into let's use XRP, right? The guy that 2020, I sold my house, $250K, put it all in the XRP. He literally lost his wife, lost his job, lost everything. Yeah, now he's having a good week because it's back up to $2. But for the last 4 years of his life were hell until, 3 days ago. So you don't do this with even with XRP, which has huge high liquidity, has billions of dollars of liquidity. You don't even do it with that. But yes, if you saw right there, Bitcoin's highest monthly closing candle, 26K for the month of November. December, I don't know where we closed, but I'm pretty sure it's somewhere between 120 to 150. But getting back to that really quick, I think we keep edging up, and I think we get to like somewhere to between 150 and 200K. Bitcoin pulls back, and if it pulls back from 75% dominance to 65% dominance, well, we're going to see somewhere between 700 billion to 1.2 trillion dollars fly into the altcoin markets. And at that moment, if you do have a select group of meme coins, yes, you're going to be successful. But getting back to the ghost bag, you want to have at least, let's say you have five or six meme coins. You want to have 2 or 3 that that you can get onto a centralized exchange, and you have no problems. You're boom, sell. You 12, you saw that kid with that huge bag, $10 or $12 million. if that was on crypto.com, he could hit sell. You know, obviously if that whatever Dookie coin was on there, he could dump it and get his money back, or sell 50% and take it back in Bitcoin or Litecoin or USDC or
again. I think
whatever.
To your point, Gerald, though, that it's the mindset of the American culture. And I don't want to say it's American. I think it probably spans even globally. And Nick could probably attest to this, what's happening in Europe. But when you look at just the election results and look at all the action that was happening in with Poly Market, we are a gambling addicted society. We like to bet on things. We love to gamble. So to your point, yes, the meme coin casino shitcoinery is going to continue and is going to get even worse, I think, as we see more of these ETFs come out with shitcoins and whatnot. So for me, it's really about value. It's about utility. So if you're going to look at anything outside of Bitcoin or Litecoin, where's the value? Where's the utility? And I know we're getting close because I got a hard stop here. I got about. So I'm just going to leave you with not financial advice, but some damn good life suggestions. If you are so inclined, I would have a position in Solana, staking Solana actively right now. We know that will have an ETF. It's going to come. I will put dollars to donuts on that this is going to happen. Another thing, when I'm looking at other projects out there that offer value and liquidity,
your mic just cut out.
Oh, is that better? Sorry.
Yeah,
again, it's my phone. So again, I got to go in and talk to the folks with my phone. But a couple of the other projects that I would look at that I think offer some utility and value that are outside of Bitcoin. One that I'm really, really excited about in the DePIN world is Peak. PEAQ. Peak. There is so much activity and development on the Peak network when it comes to DePINs and DePIN projects. I mean, this is giving me the 2017 vibes and feels when I first got into Bitcoin, the ecosystem and the culture and the community around what's going on in DePINs. But Peak really seems to be the leader when it comes to DePIN networks. So not financial advice, but a damn good life suggestion. Get in on Peak right now. It's just under 50 cents. And this thing, I believe, is going to be at least a couple $2 token here, probably in the next 6 months as the DePIN space continues to expand. Another one that I'm really, really excited about, and it's had a lot of great movement here in the last couple of days, is Render, another great AI project. Again, it's a DePIN play. Getting GPU out for people who need GPU for all those kinds of projects. So Render seeing some strong movement. And again, I've been on this. I know Gerald has some different thoughts on it, but I like Sui. I think Sui is going to be another one. The folks at Van Eck just in the last few weeks in Europe released an ETP, which is, I believe, the equivalent of an ETF. So an exchange traded product around Sui. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Van Eck file for a Sui ETF here. I haven't seen anything listed on that yet, but I believe that's another one. And then another platform that allows you to get some passive income is Tezos. It's another one of those projects that's been around for a long time, but you could put some money into that and you could start staking and again start earning some passive income. And this is the thing that a lot of us degens did back in 2017 when we got into the space. We would take altcoins, we would stake them, take those inflation payouts that we would get routinely every week or whatever that was, then take that and flip that back into free Bitcoin. Okay, a pretty degen idea, pretty common. But now get this, we have major publicly traded Bitcoin mining companies doing the same fucking thing. The flywheel concept. Sam over there at Bit Digital. So they have, like, I don't know, a lot of money in Ethereum on their balance sheet, but they are taking that Ethereum, they are staking that Ethereum, and then all the profits and the proceeds they get from that staked Ethereum, they're taking that and putting that back into Bitcoin onto the balance sheet for Bit Digital as a Bitcoin mining company. That's what I'm fucking talking about. That's the kind of mindset you got to have. Look at these projects, look at these tokens where you can do these kinds of things to generate passive income and then flip that back into Bitcoin to add to your own personal balance sheet. That's my 2 cents. It's not financial advice, but it's a damn good life suggestion.
Yeah, the DePIN, I think, sector is going to, after the meme coin cycle blows up, I think DePIN is going to be big. I do have a couple projects I've been invested in for over a couple of years. So Helium HNT. I've got one of their miners going
right now too.
Yeah, and another one.
I didn't know you were mining
Cosmos.
really?
Yeah, I've been mining.
Oh.
Well, now I think I don't mine helium. I mine their mobile or in their IoT. I think it's their IoT token I get the most of.
Okay.
But it's cool. It's nice. It's pumping. It's good. One of the other ones I have is it's called the Secret Network. It's basically a private DPIN network that's on the Cosmos network, and that has gone up like I want to say 50 or 60% over the last maybe 10 days or so. But yeah, I'm a proponent of the Cosmos chain building. It's smooth, it's easy. I think it's superior to Ethereum. But yeah, a SWE as well. I did actually just get a SWE wallet, and I got a whole bunch of meme coins gifted to me there. So yeah, again, this Murad guy, and Nick was just telling me Travis Klin was in super meme coin cycle. And it's just because, like we're saying, people like to gamble. And, if you only have $1,000, you're not going to buy Bitcoin. You're probably not even going to buy Litecoin. You're going to buy something that if you do your research on, you're trying to turn that $1,000 into 10, 100, a mil. That's not going to happen in these projects where their market caps are already in the billions or trillions, with the exceptions Bitcoin.
Well, yeah. I mean, Bitcoin still. I mean, this thing's going to $1 million. I mean,
oh yeah, it's going to a mil. It's going to a bill, right? I was the first analyst to say it's going to a billion.
So,
and people thought I was nutty. Now people say it like it's no big deal. Bitcoin's going to $1 billion. I was like, yeah, try saying that in 2019, 2020 and see what people say to you.
Yeah. All right, buddy. Anyway, well, I'm going to have to jump off here. So
it's been a great show. Let's just wrap it up. Thanks everyone at Bitcoin Live. Thank you to MattySats. Oh, I'm sorry, Clark Griswold today. And thank you to everyone, the team of Bitcoin Live. Thank you so much, Nick, for production. Let's thank our sponsors at Quantum Expeditions, the Organized, Shieldfolio, and Quantum Quantum Expeditions and Quantum Economics. Sorry, there's a whole bunch in there. I think I got them all. And you know what? Stay safe, like Matt says. Stay safe, stack sats, stay humble, hodl. Peace.